Welcome back, everybody. This is episode 31 of Peakton College. This is a big, another fun episode. We're back recording. It's been a couple months, but we're back, just Craig and I. We'll get all ball back on. It was a quick episode with him last time. We've downgraded to the free membership on Zoom. So going
So
cheap,
like and
going,
subscribe so we can
yeah,
get pay for Zoom.
maybe donate. Can we get some sponsors, please? Like at least like maybe a free Zoom membership or a Microsoft Teams membership. Anybody out there listening, please. So we're just gonna do these short, like, 30, 40 minute episodes for now, but until we can get back up, this is what we're gonna be doing. So some people like to consume it in small portions. So if you like that, if you like the appetizers, then we'll keep it coming. Craig, it's been a couple months. How you been, buddy?
I don't know. We've been living our brat summer. And it's been good. It's been busy. A lot of people visiting in Chicago. It's been fun but busy. And been doing a lot of studying, so it's not as much fun. But um,
You
it's
guys,
going well.
you guys been
How
having
about you?
crazy heat out there like we have, or is it colder by the lake?
It's it's hot today. I don't know if it was maybe 85 today, but it's not like nuts. It's what was it where you are? Well, you're wearing a flannel right now, so I don't believe that it's hot there.
Well, it's cold in our apartment. Thank God we got AC. But I played a little golf this morning, 18 holes, and it got up to 99, I think.
Dang.
So it was a scorcher, like not any wind or breeze at all, which like on a fall or spring day would be amazing for golf. But when you're out there in the middle of summer, you want some breeze. So it was brutal out there. It was hot.
And are you having a brat summer?
I don't really know what that means. Is that like the Taylor Swift thing or those Brat dolls, or what are you talking about here?
Ask Jackie.
I don't know if she knows either. Is it a TikTok thing?
Yeah, I don't even. It's just like the hot girl like summer trend thing.
You're having a white girl
And
summer or what?
yeah, white girl summer, and it's just like they post a picture of brats, but it like means brat, and just I don't know.
Have you been? Oh, speaking of that, do you have a grill at your house or no?
I don't know. That's kind of like next year's like hobby I want to get into is grilling more, but we don't have one.
Do you have like a little courtyard or something where you can put it at?
We have a private balcony, and then we have like a shared one we could put on the shared one. There's people have grills out there.
Okay, that would be nice. Do you think
But
you'd
yeah,
get like
yeah,
a standard grill, or would you go charcoal, or would you go
standard, yeah.
like a Blackstone?
I think standard, yeah. We could do charcoal, but like there's been some buildings that have burned down in the neighborhood from that. Like it's a wooden like private patio, so like just probably not worth it. And then yeah, I think just like what's the brand? I forget, but
Like Weber?
I don't. Yeah, Weber's the one. Yeah, so just like a
Yeah.
Weber grill. Yeah,
Yeah, I think my first grill is gonna have to be just a standard propane grill. I mean, charcoal,
yeah,
I think the meat off a charcoal grill tastes excellent, but it is a
yeah.
lot of work and way more of a pain in the ass, like
Yeah,
it's way more time. It's more
way
of
more
like an
time.
event. You got to go out, you got to get the propane, you got to put the, or I mean, you got to get the charcoal, you got to put the charcoal on the grill, you got to get it started, which is sometimes a pain in the ass. At least maybe
For
I'm just
sure.
not good at it,
No.
but it's sometimes a headache. Then you got to sit and wait for it to like heat up. And I think like you wait till the coals like basically turn white, and then you have like a limited window until those coals are
Yeah.
pretty much no longer good to use.
Well, and two, like I mean, I only cook for like two of us most of the time, but like I'd want to do like veggies and corn, and like with a charcoal grill, you just kind of run out of space quick to
Yeah,
like
yeah,
do a lot of stuff. So
that's a good point too. And then you got to dispose of the coals, which is like the hardest part, I
right,
would say.
yeah,
Like, what
for
do you do?
sure.
What do you do with coals? Unless you're like at a tailgate and they have those huge like vats that you pour them in. You know what I mean? What are you
I
supposed
have
to do
no
with
idea.
coals?
You can tell that we don't have kids because our dad, we're still kind of like dad mode has not been activated.
Hasn't been activated yet. I mean, for me, I would just like toss them into my neighbor's yard or something.
Yeah,
Wouldn't
well,
really,
I don't have a yard.
I would probably just put them in like two hefty bags and just throw them in the
Yeah,
normal trash. They might not even know.
yeah. Is that like bad to put charcoal in the trash? I'm
I think it's
assuming.
bad. Yeah, I think it's really
Yeah,
bad.
yeah,
And you
bad.
got to definitely make sure they're all the way out. Otherwise, that's definitely a fire hazard.
Well, if we don't get sponsored, we might be kicked off of the airwaves by the EPA coming after us. But
But we're not giving any advice. This is not advice.
yeah,
So don't listen. We're just brainstorming here. We're
yeah,
brainstorming.
we're just being shitty dads.
Could you flush them?
Which
Could you flush them down the toilet?
oh God, that would be I don't think that'd be good.
You sit
Because
there
that
like
well
at the toilet with like a nutcracker and just like break them up and then flush them.
probably worse for the environment because like mine is like the city sewage, so like I'm just putting
Yeah.
a bunch of chemicals down.
Yeah, that's definitely not the go-to move. I'd have to figure that part out. So it's gonna be a while until I get some charcoal grill for sure.
Okay.
Propane is nice.
Episode. episode 37, we'll talk about grilling after we have a little bit more experience.
This is 31. I don't know if we can, six more
Uh,
episodes might not be enough time.
yeah, we'll see.
Is that enough time to do adequate research?
Yeah.
We just bought, speaking of that, we bought my dad one of those like propane fire pit things for Father's
Mm.
Day. So one of those things where, you like stick a fire propane thing in it, you turn it on and then you can turn a little nozzle and it just like has like a fake fire on those like stones. So I'm excited to use that next time I go home. I wonder if he's used it at all yet or it's just collecting dust.
Tom would enjoy that for sure.
You ever had one of those?
We no, we had like we would just put logs on. Like they had a one we could put like on our patio, but it was like it was just a metal rim and like you just put logs on. It wasn't propane.
Like a legit fire?
Yeah. Yeah.
Hmm.
But I like the propane ones. We want to have one in our place, but like, that's kind of again the next year goal.
Okay. So you got a couple goals of what you want to get at your
Yeah.
place. Any indoor goals or things you want inside the home?
We just replaced our blinds. So that was kind of that was our project and budget for this year.
That's exciting. Super
Yeah,
exciting.
real good stuff.
Did you have old shitty ones or did you want like different colors or what were you going for?
One of them was like kind of broken, and then we wanted the ones that were like cellular shades. So that's where like in the bedroom you can get like blackout, so like it's
Oh
really
yeah.
dark. So like we just wanted it was just kind of ready for an upgrade. Like they were pretty functional and they like I think they looked fine, but I like this look better. And it's
Y-
just better for lighting and stuff. And we didn't have anything on our patio door. So when like people would stay with us, it's like we have a pull-out couch in our living room and there's a patio door that's just straight sun. So like you're up at 6 a.m. or whenever there's sun. So
Yeah.
this way there's a little bit, hopefully a little bit, better light filtering.
Yeah, that's nice. That's nice. Ours are kind of like lighter tones, so they let in a lot of natural light, which is has its ups and downs, but
Yeah.
if you want it dark, it's definitely horrible for that. So
Yeah.
you have to get some black on. I like the blinds that have like the remote controls that can
Yeah.
go up or down. Those are sick.
We decided not to do that, but it's
And
cool.
that had to be expensive. I wonder what the cost difference would be.
Think it was like 150 per window, maybe ish.
That
Which
adds up
like,
fast. You have a lot more windows
yeah,
than you probably think until you start buying blinds.
yeah, yeah. So, and then two, we just found out our garbage disposal's broken. So I'll be
Fuck.
that's not too expensive, but I'll be fixing that next week. So episode 32, I can give you an update about how the repair went.
You're fixing that on your own? Just watching
Yeah,
YouTube
I
videos or
think it's
what?
pretty easy. Yeah, I mean, you're just like linking it up with some of the pipes. So. Um,
What happened to it? How did it break?
I don't know. I think it was just old and just the ceiling went bad. It's just like slow dripping when we use it. Sometimes we have a bucket under there now. Um,
Oh, it's just leaking.
so it's just leaking, yeah.
Does it
But
still
it's
does it
like,
still carve shit up if you put it down
yeah,
there?
yeah, for sure. But like, it's at a spot where like what I've read is like if it's leaking from here, it's just like it's old and the ceiling's gone bad, and like you could open it and like reseal everything, but like it's just gonna probably break then in a year. So
You got to replace the whole unit.
yeah, which it's like 100
Fuck.
bucks. It's
Oh,
yeah.
that's not bad.
It's not bad. So that's why it's like, is it even worth it to try and patch it? It's like we could just get a new one
Yeah,
that'll
yeah.
last us 10
I'd
years.
probably
So
just replace it then. I was
yeah.
thinking that reminded me of when we were at our last apartment. I had accidentally, well, on purpose, I put down like a couple leftovers down the drain. And I don't know if I told this story in the podcast before, but
No.
I was under the understanding that you could put anything down a garbage disposal and it would chop it up, carve it up, slice it down, put it down the fucking pipes, and you would never have to see it or hear of it ever again. Well, I put down like a brick of lasagna and like a bunch of leftover chicken noodle soup, which we had an argument about this because chicken noodle soup is supposed to be runny, and when we were eating it, I was like, Jackie, this isn't very runny, and it's kind of thicker chicken noodle soup. And so right then and there, I should have known probably shouldn't go down the garbage disposal. Well, I put both down the garbage disposal, tried to chop it up. Everything was kosher, everything was good. And then like a week later, we went to a Nebraska football game in Lincoln, came back after being on like 12 hours, and our sink was like completely full, and it had like just backed up. So it was definitely on that one. That one was definitely on me. Hand up. That was on me. I shouldn't have put that stuff down there.
You must have had a weak uh disposal because like I've been researching this, but like there's different like level like horsepower that like of the motor that
Yeah,
you get.
we needed more
Like
horses.
yeah, like you probably had like less than half of a horsepower because like you're supposed to be able to do like most of that with even a half.
That's what I
Um,
thought. But then some people told me you can't do like starchy stuff, and I put down two starchy items.
gotcha. That
Because
makes
my
sense. Maybe
grandpa,
more
they
sense.
must have had a lot of horses because my grandpa said like you can put down chicken bones, it'll carve that shit up, and like
3/4 horsepower is where you can start to do some bones.
Yeah. Well, I
But
also screwed up the in the garbage disposal at our current place. I didn't put anything bad down there, but there was like, water in the sink, and then whenever that happens, I always just like let it rip, let the garbage disposal rip, and it, drains it all down. Well, I didn't check what was in the actual sink at the time. We had a measuring cup that had fallen down, carved it up, plastic measuring cup. So we don't know, we can't measure out a half cup anymore. We got to do 2/4.
our God, look at us just talking about grilling and fixing stuff and ruining kitchen appliances.
Yeah. Yeah, I know. I mean, what other podcast can you find where they talk about blinds for five minutes and garbage disposal for the next 5 minutes? But
This is why I was peaked in college because we didn't have to do any of this shit.
well, I know, but that's the ups and downs of renting and living just a normal life. Unless you know all that shit already. I mean, you only learn through experiences. So now I know
It's true.
whenever the water's backed up, there's probably something preventing it from going down. In this case, it was a half cup measuring cup. I probably should check. So in the future, put my hands down there as long as the garbage disposal is not on, feel around a little bit, make sure nothing's in there, then you let it rip. Once
Yep,
all your
let it
limbs are
rip.
outside the vehicle. Um, but speaking of that, have you seen those videos or those YouTube channels that have like older guys or this one guy specifically I'm thinking of? It's like it's called like Thanks Dad or something. It's like a YouTube
No.
channel where like he lost his dad when he was young, so he never like learned things growing up. So he created this YouTube channel where he would like teach people like simple things like home ownership, like replacing your garbage disposal, for example. He would like show you a video of how to do it. All kinds of like useful videos. I'll have to send you this guy because like
Yeah,
anything you might need, he probably has on there.
that's cool. That's sweet. Yeah, because I watch a lot of YouTube. Like I've watched three about garbage disposal, so like it's useful stuff.
It is useful stuff. I remember one time, I've used it a couple times. Once I was like living with my grandma and I had to mow the lawn. And I haven't used a lawnmower at that point, like in a decade probably. I used to like mow a lot of lawns when I was like in high school, but it had been a long time. And I was like sitting on the lawnmower, like looking at it, like, I mean, I could probably figure this out, but I don't just want to like press buttons and turn random knobs and fuck this mower up. My grandma would be pissed. So I started like looking up on YouTube like how to start it. And second video I watched like had the exact same model. He just like showed step by step and let it rip, and it worked perfect. So
That's sweet.
yeah, so I mean those things are super helpful. So shout out those people that put those videos out there. They're much needed.
Yeah, we could start a partnership maybe with our YouTube channel.
I mean that would be nice. Yeah, and then maybe they can pay for our Zoom membership.
Yeah,
But I don't really
exactly.
know what benefits we can offer besides just advertising
Yeah, we'll
their
give them free
channel.
ads right now. They'll appreciate that.
Yeah, yeah. They might want us to increase our viewership before they want to be in partnership with us. They'd be like, "Yeah, we appreciate it. Thanks for the extra 10 views."
Hey, we
I'm
might get
like,
12 sometimes.
"Yeah, I'm like, hey, I'll have my parents watch on separate devices, and that'll be at
Yeah.
least another view."
And Craig and David will watch it 5 times each.
Yeah, we'll watch it a couple times
14
on
right
loop.
there.
We'll crank them up for you guys. Don't
Yeah,
worry about
yeah,
it.
yeah,
My new goal in life is to have one of those like plaques that the YouTube channel send out
yeah.
that has like 1,000 subscribers or whatever it might be. I don't know what they send it out for the lowest milestone, but right now I'm just shooting for the lowest milestone.
Okay,
We'll go
okay.
platinum eventually, but right now I'm shooting for the clouds.
It's only up from here, I guess.
Yeah, I mean, I think we're on the way. You just have to keep pushing through. Anytime, I think about quitting and giving up, I think about that meme of those two guys that are digging for diamonds, and the one guy gives up right before it, and then the other guy's just chugging along.
Yep.
You never know when those diamonds are going to hit, so you just got to keep hacking away.
Could be episode 31. You never know.
Yeah, maybe 31's the one that takes off if someone's really interested in blinds. I mean, this could be the one for them. Or brats, having brat summers.
I
Where do
can
you think
send
some Go ahead.
I was gonna say I can contact the blind company that we bought from and see if they'll sponsor us.
Advertise with them.
Yeah.
Yeah, that'd be nice. I might just have to start hitting up different brands and companies and see if we can get
Yeah.
some interest. But you got to establish our personal brand first, I guess. So
Yeah.
we'll keep chugging away at that. I was gonna say, what city in the U.S. would you think would be the best to have a Brat Summer?
Mhm.
Chicago's got to be up there.
Chicago, yeah, Chicago summers are great. It's hot, but it's not too hot. It's not a super muggy city. You're by the lake. I mean, I'm biased, but it's been my favorite summer place for sure.
Tell me about your lake experience. I saw, I think, on your story you were hanging out by the lake the other day.
Yeah,
How was
we
that?
live like half a mile from the lake, so it's pretty easy to go there. If we're gonna go to the beach, we'd probably bike. It's maybe like a mile. but so we could still, maybe a mile and a half, but we had friends, so we just walked, we just brought some yard games. So it's like there's grassy areas, there's like a cement area, and then there's, the beach options too.
So when
Um,
you're on the cementy area like you were at, like can you jump into the water or you really
yeah,
shouldn't
yeah.
be jumping in the water? Is it
No, there's
too,
there's water, yeah.
and
It's
there's a ladder and
cold.
stuff to get back up?
Yep. Yeah, where we were at, there was like some big rocks, so like you could kind of stand and like be like up to your knees. But there's other places where you can, jump, and I think you're not supposed to die, but like you wouldn't be able to touch. So
So
you
it's
kind of
deep
get
enough.
whatever you want. Yeah.
Some places, okay. I was wondering like if you're able to like swim off that or depends on like, if I didn't know if it was super rocky and you got to be careful, you bring water shoes or what the deal was.
No, yeah, water shoes would be a good idea. Yeah, but I mean, dude, I'm a wimp, but it's so cold. It's so cold. Like,
Even when it's like crazy hot outside, it's just freezing cold, isn't it?
yeah, yeah, it doesn't change the like
Yeah.
temp at all. So it's so
Yeah,
bad.
we used to go up to like the dunes. It was like Kohler
Indiana State
Andre
Dunes.
State Park or something, I think it was
Okay.
called in Wisconsin. And it was like an hour north of my parents' house. And we would hang out on the dunes like all day, run around, play football, like all kinds of stuff. And it'd be like 100 degrees outside. And then you get down to the lake, it drops like 20 degrees, and then you go in the water and it's like free. You're doing like a polar plunge in the middle of
Yeah.
July.
I hate cold
You walk
water.
out of the water, you're looking for your Johnson the next 2 hours, It's
Yeah,
like
exactly.
just brutal. We have a pool at our current apartment, and that's really nice for these hot days and hot summers or whatever. But it's crazy how like busy it gets, especially at certain times. So like right now it's 9 o'clock Central Time, and the pool is completely full. Like
Really?
there's
On a Sunday?
not a single chair open Sunday at 9 p.m. and people are hanging out there. I mean, it is 86 degrees, so it's still hot outside at 9 o'clock. But yeah, people are just chilling down there, drinking and hanging out.
Nice. And do you ever bring a book down there and read?
I haven't read in months, close to a year, I would say. I think we did that like 3 month challenge before our Florida trip where we were supposed to read like
Yeah.
a page a day or 10 pages
Yeah,
a day
that
or something. Yeah, I haven't touched it since like week 2 of that challenge. So
that habit died real
yeah,
quick.
I
Yeah.
haven't died fast. But I was good about the rest of that challenge. So the reading, that was the one part I was willing to sacrifice.
Yeah, that's fair. That's fair.
I want to get back into it. I think it's good for you. It's good for your mental health. It's good for your brain, your intelligence level. But I find that when I get home from work, I like all I want to do is just melt in the couch and watch TV. Especially since football season's starting up soon, that's going to be
Yeah.
toxic for my quote unquote reading time. And we're also thinking about taking the board certified pharmacotherapy exam. So like a BCPS or whatever. It's just basically like getting like an additional licensure or credential
Okay.
through Pharmacy National. So thinking about doing that in the fall. So that's going to be a real inhibitor of any of my free time going forward.
Yeah. And you're gonna be reading enough about drugs where you're not gonna want to read about
Yeah, I'm
whatever.
not, my eyeballs are not going to read anything else on a paper besides
Yeah,
that.
that's fair. That's exciting though. Is Jackie doing it too, or just you?
Exciting is probably the last word that came to my head when I was thinking about it. But yeah, we're thinking about doing it like at the same time
Nice.
together, suffering together through it. And it helps because at work, like through the VA, if you take it, I'm sure it's similar to like actuary, like once you pass the test, you get like a little raise.
Yeah.
So we're kind of like shooting for that. And we're t trying to time it out according to like our normal. Like the VA has certain steps of like when you get raises, like certain number of years that you've been there. And so we're trying to
Yeah.
time it out with that as well. So you
Nice.
can like be strategic about when you do it. Cause when you like take the test, if you pass, then you would step up and get your raise or whatever. But if you were to do, then it resets your clock. So if you were to,
Okay.
you want to take the test after you step up with your time.
Right. Yeah, right
So
after. That
say your
makes sense.
5 year mark, you want to take the test a month after your 5 year mark, because then
Right.
it just
Yep.
one step. But if you like take the
Yeah.
test 1 month before your 5 year mark, you're kicking out another five
Just
years.
dang, that's dumb.
Yeah, you're boning yourself. So you got to really time it out.
Yep, that makes sense. Sophia just decided she applied for Ed D um at DePaul. So I'm excited because I won't be the only one studying. So it's good that you're doing it in tandem.
So what is that? Tell me more about that.
I guess so. I mean, so an Ed D is different. It's like, I mean, it's a different. I guess I don't know. I don't know. It's basically like she'd be a doctorate, or it's a doctorate degree. It's not a PhD, but it's, say, different school. Um, but so
So
it's in
she
like she's doing it in higher ed. So like it's more applied. So it's like I don't know how many classes she has to take, maybe 10 or 12 or something. And it's like a lot of research. So
So apply to like a program, not like it's not like a test. It's like a program.
Right, right.
Okay,
Yeah, it's a
nice,
program.
nice,
Yeah. So it's
nice.
like she'll be going to school for 4 more years or something.
Damn. Is it online or is it in person?
I think both. I think both.
How far are you from DePaul?
Well, they have two campuses. One's downtown, so 3, 4, 5 miles, depending on how you get there, and then one's a mile south. So I don't know which campus she'd be at mostly, but
You guys have a car down there, right? You just share one.
yeah, yeah. We don't really take it many places though. So
Yeah, you kind
honestly,
of
both
know.
those places it would be easier to take the train. So
Yeah, is it just way easier to take the train everywhere?
north south it is. We're like kind of on the east side, right? Like we're close to the lake. But if we want to go west, there's not like any good trains going east west. So that's kind of the hardest place.
So if you're
So,
going east west, you got to get in the car.
yeah, or a
What do you
bus,
what
but
do you do out west? Really, go to Oakbrook Mall or something?
I've never been, but that is an option. There's just like West Loop is like west of downtown. Like there's like a lot of really good like restaurants there. So like that's like kind of a hike for us to go to. So we don't go there a ton. Basketball, I play basketball like Southwest. So I drive to that. So
How often are you hooping?
playing in a league right now that's once a week. It's actually a pretty sick league. They have like video and everyone has uniforms. It's pretty cool. And we're doing that again in the fall. So that season's wrapping up. I luckily haven't been dunked on, but some of my teammates have been. There's some real hoopers.
I
Um,
believe it.
yeah, so playing about once a week, and then I got a gym membership. I think I maybe talked about this last episode, but so trying to get up more shots there too.
That's good. Yeah, that's good.
Yeah,
I haven't hooped in
yeah.
a long time. I don't know if I'm medically retired or what, but that's a tough thing to think about.
Yeah, I mean, for me, it's good to get back into it. Just more motivation than just running. I just kind of hate that. So it's good for me to get my ass kicked, see how bad I am, and like I'm not able to do what I used to be able to do. So that makes me want to, get back to that level, which isn't going to happen, but it's more motivation than being like, you drank 2 beers last night, you should slim up a little bit.
You probably have to become more of a shooter in your older age. You
Yeah, yeah,
you
which
used to
is
rely a
not
lot
good
on
for
your
me.
a lot on your
Yeah.
athleticism, but you're probably getting older and more, slowing down a little bit.
Yeah, so I have to, yeah, but my shot was already so bad before. It can only get better.
Yeah, it's only up from there.
Yeah.
Speaking of basketball, shout out Andrew Beal. It looks like he's at like a film festival in LA,
Yeah.
and he's producing short films now. So he's got his first short film coming out. Um, I want to share that on our platforms when it comes out and it's shareable. So I'm sure he'll post that. It seems like something that they like release at that festival. So he showed like a trailer of it and it looked pretty dope.
Yeah.
So good for him.
He's very talented. I love watching his stuff.
Yeah, he's crazy talented. I wish I could like do editing and stuff like that, but like you're almost like selling him short when you say like, "Oh yeah, I'm gonna learn how to like do
Right,
shit like
right.
that." When like he's been
Yeah.
doing it for like 10 years.
You're right. It would take you 10 years and a lot of artistic vision that I don't have.
Yeah, I don't have any artistic vision at all. I have no
Yeah.
creativity, nothing. My gears
Eh,
barely turn in my brain as is.
but drugs, so that's your thing.
Yeah, well, even that stuff, I feel like it's my knowledge is slowing down a little bit. So that's why this test will be good for me to like almost get an oil change in my brain.
Speaking of oil changes, did I heard you might have bought a car
Yeah, dude.
recently?
Yeah, so I had to go through the whole car buying process. I don't know when the last time that was for you. When's the last time you bought a car? Long time.
Long time.
Have you ever bought your own?
I
What kind
bought
of
one from my parents,
okay.
but never, and there's a long story behind that, but basically it was like they had a full warranty or something. So like by buying it from them, we were able to like keep them on the warranty. So then like when there was issues, it like saved me money. So that's why I did it that way. And
Oh,
they
for
didn't need the
sure.
car. So like it just made sense.
For
But that's
sure.
the only car I bought.
Those are a lot of easier to deal with your own parents than going to the car
Yeah.
dealership. Tell you that
Yeah.
much. So what happened is backstory to why I was buying a car is we've had this like crazy ass weather in Nebraska. I don't know if you've seen like we've had like tornadoes and crazy hail and like all kinds of stuff. So this hail that we had, it was like early June. It was one of my late days of work, so I was working till 9 o'clock. It was like 8:45, 8:50. I went downstairs to the basement to like, and I was parked, exposed. My car was exposed. I always park in like the exposed parking lot. We do have a parking garage, but it's always full when I get to work. So I'm in the
Yeah.
exposed lot. Go downstairs to the basement. I'm like bullshitting with the overnight pharmacist. I'm like filling the med. And then the overnight technician comes down and she's like, holy shit, look at this. And she has like in her hand, like four massive pieces of hail. Like she was out having a smoke and like it started hailing on her. So she comes in, I'm like, oh my God. And so I like go finish my shift. We're like looking, I go upstairs, we're looking outside. Me and like the ER workers are just watching it all come down. It's like no lie, it's like bigger than a golf ball, a little smaller than a tennis ball. So a little smaller than a baseball and a tennis ball.
Dang.
But it's just pepper in the ground. I'm gonna text you pictures of this hail, dude. It was nuts. So it's just hammer in the ground for like a solid 10 minutes. Then like I just know my car is screwed. So I'm just wondering to what extent. So then I like go out to my car at like 9:15 or whatever when I'm done with my shift. Windshield is cracked all the way across with like a huge impact spot. The driver's side mirror got slammed and shattered. The roof got hit and like right above the driver where the driver sits was like dented in, huge dent. And then the rest of it just looked like it was like parked at like a driving range and it was just like peppered, dents all over it. So then I'm like, great, you know. So I had never had like an insurance claim like this before. Everything like I got in one accident when I was like driving, and it was like when I was 16. So my parents handled all that stuff. So I'm like going through all the insurance stuff. I had to like drive to this place to like have this third party appraiser look at it, and he's like, "Oh yeah, you're
Yep.
gonna like have to have your roof replaced," and like blah blah blah. He's like, "It's probably gonna be totaled." I'm like, "Totaled? What?" So I'm like shocked that it's gonna be totaled. So then I'm like trying to figure out what that means. And like depending on what state you're in, it's like such a huge difference, which I didn't realize.
Yeah.
And my car,
Especially with
like
auto.
the timing of it was like so shitty because I had just replaced the brakes, the front and rear brakes, $1,000, like a week prior.
Oh no.
Then the hailstorm hits, and then I go to the appraiser, and then I'm talking about like what you do for a total sorry, the free Zoom just popped up on our thing. It was like, do you want to upgrade? Nope. Not until we get some sponsorships. Money's tight, baby. Money's tight. Um, so where was I going? I'm losing my direction. So in Wisconsin, if you total your vehicle, you get a salvage title, which
Yep.
basically renders the car like useless going forward. You can drive it. I could still drive it. It was driving fine. I was going to replace the windshield and keep the car. Um, and then like my parents and people I talked to were like, you don't want to deal with a salvage title. Like if anything happens to it, it's trash. You can't resell it. You can't like do whatever with it. So I'm like, okay. So then I talked to people in Nebraska, and you can get a salvage title or some sort of it's like a step up from a salvage title where you can still drive it. They still give you a bunch of money for it. And then you can drive it and whatever. And like you can still sell the vehicle with like a damage title or something like that. It's different.
Yep.
But my
Yep.
car was registered in Wisconsin at the time. This was like the middle of June that the storm hit, and my insurance was through Wisconsin, and my car needed to be switched over to being registered in Nebraska at the end of June. So like
So
2 weeks
just like the
away,
worst timing of
worst
everything.
possible timing ever. The insurance company gave me $100 more when I like fought back for the brakes being replaced. And it had like new batteries and like relatively new tires or something, but they gave me like an extra $100 from their original offer. So then I ended up like finally like just saying, okay, I'll give you the vehicle. They towed it away. Then they like send me money once I have to like mail in my title, which sketch me out too, and like go to the inspector to have it inspected again and all kinds of shit. And they towed it away. So then luckily I like borrowed a car from a friend out here. So shout out Jason. Thanks for letting me use your car. And then I was like shopping for a car. And obviously that's a huge pain in the ass. So I'm getting like a Consumer Report subscription from like a coworker, one of the ED docs. I'm like, anybody have Consumer Report? He's like, I do. So I borrowed his. And then I'm like looking up what cars and models are the best. Then I'm like
Yep.
looking around local dealerships, and like shopping for a car locally is like impossible now because you look and then it says, oh yeah, there's 10,000 Toyota Camrys, which like was one of the cars I was looking at
Yeah.
in Omaha within like 50 miles. But then you click on one and it's like, oh, it's in San Diego and you have to pay 1,500 to have it shipped to Omaha. Or like they're all
No
through
thanks.
Carvana or whatever. I'm like, thanks. Like that's useless. So then I finally resorted to just Googling like local car dealerships and like clicking on a dealership, going to their website, looking at their inventory. Instead of using like those big sites that like filter everything out, I was getting
Yep.
so fed up with that shit. So then I found this one dealership that had a vehicle that I liked. Then I'm like, YouTube, this all circles back to our YouTube channels that we were talking about. I'm YouTubing like how to negotiate a used car because like I had never done it. I purchased a vehicle 3 years ago, the Ford Fusion that got trashed in the hail. But my
Yep.
dad was there. It was like the worst timing to buy a used car. It was like 2021. So like 2020 to 2022, the car market was shit.
It's insane.
And
Yeah.
so like we tried to negotiate there and they're just like, it is what it is. This is like our last Fusion on the lot. Like we can't, the price is what it is kind of thing. So there's no negotiation. So like at this one, I was like trying to negotiate and like I was looking up at YouTube on how to do it like appropriately and properly. I didn't want to like insult them, obviously, like it's their livelihood. But I just know that like car dealership people, and I'm sorry if you work at a car dealership, they're usually sleazeball scumbags. So I just know they're like lying through their teeth. If they were great stand-up people that gave you stand-up like clear-cut offers that no bullshit included, like no BS, then there would not be 10,000 videos on YouTube of how to avoid getting like screwed over, scammed, bent
Yeah.
over, and
There's a
screwed.
reputation. Yeah.
Yeah, there's a reputation and like it's not only just a stereotype, like it's definitely a real thing. And I had that in the back of my mind. I had all these people's videos in the back of my mind while I'm sitting there. They're like offering me these things that the all the videos told me to like warn me about. Like, for example, every video I saw is like, don't ever tell them what you want your payment to be because then they'll like manipulate the prices and the payments to like get you your payment, but you'll have 15% interest or you'll have like
Yeah.
whatever. So the first thing he says to me is like, "What are you looking for your payments to be?" I'm just like, "Don't care. Not worried about that. More worried about like the total cost, yeah, and like the interest or whatever." So
Yeah.
then I'm like, I'm really glad I watched these videos because like it helped me navigate the conversation. I think I would have got screwed way worse. But ended up out of there like, with a decent deal I was happy with. But they're sitting there, he brings a manager over. He's bullshitting me just as much as the first guy was, and basically just like trying to strong arm you. And then I wanted to like do the thing where you get up and walk out, but it was like it wasn't like a Toyota dealership. It was just like a lease turn in or whatever, or trade in or something. So like I was like, all right, I like the car. I'm just gonna like ended up buying it. So ended up buying it, and now it's been 3 weeks. I have a 30-day temporary license thing, those like paper stickers they put on your windshield. And I have
Hmm.
to go to the DMV to get like a real license plate, but I'm waiting on the dealership to tell me when everything is like submitted for me to go. They said you'll hear from us. Uh, they said you'll hear from us in a couple days when you come back to the dealership to sign a form. Then we'll send that form to the DMV and all the paperwork. And then it'll be th 2 to 3 weeks before you can go to the DMV. We'll let you know again, and then you can go to the DMV. So then it's been like 10 days. I call them. I'm like, haven't heard from when I need to come back and sign this form. And they're like, oh yeah, don't worry about that. But it'll be like 3 weeks before you can go to the DMV. I'm like, okay. But now it's been three
It's
weeks.
3 weeks.
Haven't heard anything. Like I'm probably gonna call again because like it's gonna expire soon, my temporary plate thing. So I don't know, man. It was a crazy, crazy headache, and I'm just ready for it to be over with.
Do you like, was it as bad as like you expected?
I think it was worse.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
I expected it to be bad, but like I thought in the back of my head, I was like, maybe some of this stuff is like exaggerated. Maybe like maybe they just take advantage of people that I don't really know, like maybe are more seem more desperate or something. Like I wasn't putting off that I was desperate. I was like, I have a car that I'm renting from a buddy, so I really like I'm in no rush to buy a car. I'm just like, I want one that I like at a good price. And no, they still try to find a way
That's
to,
wild.
to harass
It,
me.
what did you end up buying?
2021 Toyota Camry.
Nice.
So I like it. I'm
Yeah.
happy with it. I'm glad that that headache is over, but
Yeah.
now I'm working on like getting the insurance switched over or need to get my plates. What else? I need to set up like the online banking payments and shit. So
So
it's a
you're
never
saying
ending.
episode 32 is going to be 40 minutes of David's grinds my gears.
Yeah,
All
there's
your least favorite things.
if you like this last 10-minute rant that I just had, there's more where this came from. Okay. So if the free Zoom meeting wasn't expiring soon, there will be more where this came from. Okay. I promise that.
Can't wait to talk to you after you go to the DMV, bro.
Yeah. Hey, I'll tell you what, the DMV is not as bad as people say. Now I go to I've been to the DMV a handful of times in the last like 2 or 3 years. I've been to the US Post Office probably 100 times in the last 3 years. And here's a hot take for you, Craig. Hot take
Yeah.
as the time is winding down. Going to the post office is worse than going to the DMV in 2024.
What are you doing at the post office?
Does not matter. Dropping off a package, mailing something, um, having them basically the most basic things you could ask for,
Okay,
right?
fair. Yeah.
But I went the other day to ship a package. I went there. I showed up like 30 minutes before I had to go to work. I was smart because I'm like, I'm gonna hit Play It Again Sports, which is right next to the post office. I'm gonna give myself some time, see what they have in stock. I walk into the post office. There is 10 people in line in front of me at 12:15 or 12:05 on a Wednesday in the middle of the week.
It's their lunch
There's
break.
there's one worker working. She calls back to these two guys the entire time I'm in line. Neither one comes up to the front to help the whole time. She's calling out to him the whole time. Jerome, Tracy, come on, I need some help. We got a lot of people out here. Neither one comes up to the front. So I'm cranking through this line step by step. A majority of the line in front of me is pushing 75, 80 plus. So they got, these extravagant questions. They're not prepared whatsoever. I just have a package. It's labeled. It's ready to go. I need to give it to them and get a
Yeah,
tracking number. That's all I need.
yeah, that's frustrating because I think with most of the post office things, like buying stamps, you can do elsewhere, mail-in letters you can do elsewhere, but dropping off a package, like you have to just wait in line and do that. So that's fair.
Dude, it sucks. So they're understaffed, which isn't always their fault. And then what else was I gonna bitch about with them? Oh yeah, no, I was gonna say a good thing about the DMV. The DMV, if you schedule an appointment, it's not that bad of an experience. So schedule an appointment, it's not that bad.
Maybe we're sponsored by the DMV.
Maybe, yeah. I'll hype up the DMV because I've had positive experiences the last couple times.
Okay.
Post
Okay.
office? No, I haven't.
Interesting. Okay.
Anything you want to
Well,
wrap up with? I'm sorry I used like a majority of the
no, it was
episode to
good.
rant
It's
about that.
good. We need a little David rain. I think that we were due for one. So we've got some bright bulbs we can talk about in episode 32, and we
All
can maybe
right.
wrap up the Olympics.
I promise episode 32 will be more positive.
Awesome. Well, this was fun. Thanks, David.
Hey, thanks for coming on. Thanks for making time. We'll get back hopefully next week for our next episode.